Right now, you're probably looking at FAANG job postings thinking there's no way you can compete. Everyone else seems to have started coding in middle school, went to Stanford, or has connections you don't have. I felt the exact same way, but I went from never writing a line of code in high school to landing a software engineering job at Meta without going to a top college and without any connections. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step process I used to get into FAANG. Not theory, not fluff, the actual playbook. And here's the best part, you don't need to be a genius or grind for years to make this happen. If you follow this system, you can land a FAANG offer in 2026, even if you're starting from zero right now. I'm Chase, a software engineer at Meta, and I've been on both sides of this process. I know what works and what's a complete waste of time, so let's get into it. So let's start with step 1, understanding that you don't need to be a prodigy. I originally went into college planning to be pre-med, but then I looked at the timeline, 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, then residency, then maybe fellowship. We're talking 10 plus years before I'd actually be making real money and living my life. That didn't make sense to me. I had never written a single line of code before college, not one. And honestly, I was worried about that at first. But here's what I learned. After the first year, it's a level playing field. The kids who coded in high school may have a slight advantage in CS 101, but by sophomore year, everyone's learning the same complex concepts for the first time. Data structures, algorithms, operating systems, that stuff is new to everyone. Computer science appealed to me for two specific reasons. First, the ROI is insane. You can graduate with a bachelor's degree and immediately make 6 figures. No grad school required, no years of low-paying residency. You're making real money at 22 years old. Second, I saw people building actual things. Websites, mobile apps, tools that people used. That excited me. I wanted to create something real, not just memorize textbook material. So I switched to CS early in my freshman year, and I never looked back. If you're already feeling a little less stressed about your path, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps the algorithm and lets me know to make more videos like this one. Now, step 2, understand that classwork is not the same as career prep. This is crucial, and it's where most students fail. They think if they just get good grades in their CS classes, big tech jobs will just follow. That's completely wrong. Your classes will teach you the fundamentals, but they're not going to prepare you for top tech interviews, not even close. I made it into Meta because I was outworking the curriculum. I was doing things outside of class that my classmates weren't doing. Yes, your operating systems class is hard. Yes, your algorithms class is challenging, but those classes alone will not get you into FAANG. You need to do more. Here's what more actually means. First, interview prep outside of school is mandatory. You might have 1 or 2 classes that touch on interview style problems, but you still need to be grinding leak code. You need to be solving problems on your own time, understanding patterns, and building speed. This isn't optional, this is the bare minimum. Second, mock interviews. There's websites like premed and Interviewing.io where you can pair up with other people and prepare for tech interviews and practice in real time. You get to be the interviewer and the interviewee. This is invaluable because it simulates the pressure of a real interview. You can't just solve problems in silence at your desk. You need to be able to talk through your thought process while someone's watching you code. That's a completely different skill. Third, real interviews. Apply constantly. Apply to companies you don't even care about just to get practice. Every interview is a free repetition. You're not wasting anyone's time. You're getting better at interviewing, which is its own skill separate from coding ability. You'll start to recognize patterns in how companies ask questions. You'll get better at managing your nerves. You'll learn what works and what doesn't in your explanations. This is free training. Use it. Fourth, internships every single summer. This is non-negotiable. Whether it's a big company or a small startup, you need real-world experience before you graduate. Ideally, you want at least one internship at a large, recognizable company because that name on your resume will get you through resume screens. Once you have Google, Amazon, Microsoft, or any other big name on your resume, suddenly you get interviews everywhere. It's unfair, but it's reality. And finally, get comfortable with failure. When I first started interviewing, I was getting rejected constantly. I had no idea what I was doing. I bombed interviews. I just froze up. I couldn't solve easy problems under pressure. That's totally normal. Every single person who's now at FAANG went through that phase. The difference is that the people who made it didn't give up. They took each rejection as data, figured out what went wrong, and got better. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be working when everyone else is watching Netflix. And by the way, if you want me to implement a personalized strategy for you to land your dream job in tech, get promoted, or retire early, click the first link in the description to book a call with me. But for now, let's get back to the video. Step 3. Master the skill, strategy, and resume trifecta. Getting into FAANG isn't just about being good at coding, it's about 3 things working together: your technical skills, your interview strategy, and your resume. Let me break down each one. First, skills. As a new grad or someone with limited experience, you're going to be tested almost entirely on data structures and algorithms. You won't get system design questions, those are for senior engineers. Your interviews will be: can you code? Do you understand algorithms? Can you optimize your solutions? That's it. LeetCode is obviously the gold standard here. There are thousands of videos on YouTube breaking down LeetCode problems. Watch them. Learn the patterns. The goal isn't to memorize solutions, it's to recognize problem types so fast that when you see a new problem, you immediately know what category it falls into. Is this a sliding window problem, a graph traversal, or a dynamic programming problem? Once you can categorize problems in the first 30 seconds, you're halfway to the solution. Another great resource is Cracking the Coding Interview, or CTCI. It's one of the original interview prep books, and it's still incredibly relevant. It breaks down the most common problem types and gives you a framework for approaching each one. If you're just starting your interview prep, start there. Now, strategy. Every company interviews differently, and you need to understand the specific format of the company you're targeting. Meta, for example, has a very unique interview style. Each interview is 45 to 50 minutes, and they expect you to solve 2 LeetCode medium problems in that time. Let me repeat that. 2 mediums in under 50 minutes. That means you have about 20 to 25 minutes per problem, including time to talk through your approach, write the code, test it, and optimize it. You need to be really fast. This is why mock interviews are so important. You need to build speed and comfort while talking while you code. Most people can solve a LeetCode medium in 30 minutes when they're alone at their desk with no pressure, but in an interview with someone watching you, asking clarifying questions, and judging your every move, that same problem takes 45 minutes. You need to close that gap through practice. And then there's the resume. This is the most overlooked part of the process, and it's costing people interviews. Recruiters and hiring managers spend maybe 6 seconds looking at your resume. Just 6 seconds. They're not reading your bullet points, they're scanning for signals. Did this person go to a good school? Do they have a big name company on their resume? Do they have relevant projects? Here's the harsh truth. Big name internships matter way more than they should. It's not fair, but if you have Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, or any other recognizable company on your resume, you're getting interviews. If you don't, you're fighting an uphill battle. So if you're still in school, prioritize getting at least one big name internship. That one internship will open more doors than anything else you can do. And if you can't get a big name internship, you need to make up for it with projects. But not just any projects. Your projects need to be impressive. They need to show real technical depth. A to-do list app isn't going to cut it. Build something that solves a real problem, uses interesting technologies, and shows that you can write production quality code. Put it on GitHub with clean documentation. Make it easy for recruiters to see that you know what you're doing. Referrals are the other massive advantage that most people don't leverage. If you know someone at the company you're applying to, politely ask them for a referral. Referrals give you a side door into the interview process. You skip the black hole of online applications and go straight to a recruiter's desk. Your odds of getting an interview with a referral are probably 10 times higher than without one. So network, go to career fairs, connect with alumni from your school who work at FAANG companies, send cold messages on LinkedIn. It's uncomfortable, but it works. Here's the ironic part. The hardest part of getting into FAANG isn't passing the interview, because once you're in the room, it's up to you. If you've prepared properly, you'll pass. The hardest part is often getting the interview in the first place. That's where most people get stuck. They never even get a chance to show what they can do because they can't get past the resume screen. So focus just as much energy on your resume and networking as you do on LeetCode. Step 4. Execute the process in the right order. Let me give you a timeline for how this actually works if you're a college student. Freshman year, focus on building fundamentals. Take your intro CS classes, get comfortable with programming, and start exploring what areas of CS you're interested in. You don't need to be grinding LeetCode yet, just build a foundation. Sophomore year, start interview prep and apply for your first internship. Even if you don't think you're ready, apply anyway. The worst that happens is you get rejected and learn what you need to work on. The best that happens is you land an internship and jumpstart your career. This is a serious mindset shift, but you can't allow yourself to just reject yourself without even applying. You need to let the company reject you. So even if you don't think you're qualified, just apply anyway and let the company choose whether they accept or reject. Also, start building projects, contribute to open source, make things you can put on your resume. Junior year is your most important year. You need to land a solid internship, ideally at a big company. This is the internship that'll carry your resume for the rest of your job search. Spend your junior year absolutely crushing LeetCode, join mock interview platforms, apply to everything, get as many interview reps as you can. And senior year, you should be applying for full-time positions starting in the fall. If you did well in your junior year internship, you might already have a return offer. But if not, you're now armed with a strong resume, tons of interview practice, and the skills to pass FAANG interviews. Apply broadly, prepare intensely, and don't stop until you have an offer. If you're not in college or you're a career switcher, the process is similar but condensed. You need to build your skills through online courses, boot camps, or self-study. You need to build projects that prove you can code. You need to grind LeetCode until you can solve mediums consistently. And you need to network aggressively because you don't have the built-in recruiting pipeline that college students have. Step 5. Prepare specifically for the companies you're targeting. Not all FAANG companies interview the same way. Meta focuses heavily on speed and expects 2 mediums per interview. Google tends to ask harder problems, but will give you more time. And Amazon loves their leadership principles and will ask behavioral questions alongside technical ones. And Apple is notoriously difficult to get into and has multiple rounds. Do your research, go on Glassdoor and read interview experiences, watch YouTube videos from people who've interviewed at these companies, understand what each company values, and tailor your preparation accordingly. If you're interviewing at Amazon, make sure you have strong answers to behavioral questions using the STAR method. If you're interviewing at Meta, focus on speed and being able to code 2 clean solutions quickly. Also, understand the levels. Most new grads come in at E3 at Meta, L3 at Google, or SDE1 at Amazon. These are entry-level positions, and the expectations are different than for senior engineers. You're not expected to design massive systems or lead projects. You're expected to code well, learn quickly, and be a solid team member. Tailor your interview answers to that level. Step 6. Don't give up when you get rejected. You will get rejected multiple times, maybe dozens of times, but that's part of the process. Every single person at FAANG has failed interviews. The only difference between someone who made it and someone who didn't is that the person who made it kept going. When you get rejected, don't just move on. Figure out what went wrong. Did you struggle with a specific type of problem? Did you run out of time? Did you freeze up under pressure? Did you fail to communicate your thought process clearly? Identify the weakness, fix it, and then try again. Treat every interview as a learning opportunity. Even if you bomb it, you learn something about how you perform under pressure. You learned what types of problems you need to work on. You learned how to improve for next time. This is all valuable data. And remember, getting into FAANG is a numbers game. The more you apply, the more interviews you get. The more interviews you get, the better you become at interviewing. And the better you become at interviewing, the more offers you get. It's a compounding process, so apply everywhere, interview constantly, and keep improving. So that's the exact process I'd use to land a FAANG software engineering job. Now you have 2 options. You can take everything I've shown you in this video and try to figure it out yourself, or you can click the first link in the description and have me build a personalized strategy for you. And if you're not ready for that yet, I highly recommend watching the video on screen next, where I break down the current state of the tech job market and how you can still succeed despite it being so bad. The choice is yours. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.